Hello and welcome back to another Giant Slayer video. Hope the holidays are going well and the climb has been going steady, but if not, no worries because we've got you. From now on, Mondays are going to be Meta Mondays. We're going to be giving you a guide on the best comps, items, champions, and much more in the current meta. If you're unsure what to do in a new meta, or if it's a brand new patch, now you know where to go, right here. For today, after talking to many Diamond to Challenger players, we've compiled a top 10 champion guide for you. But before we begin, please do not forget to click the links in our description. We are hosting many TFT tournaments, and we have plenty of exciting news to come in 2020. The interest form is right down below in the description, so please feel free to fill that out if you'd like to compete. You do need to be experienced with how to stream so we can broadcast your gameplay on Twitch, and also be sure to follow our Twitter page at Giant Slayer TV and check out our amazing cast as well in the description. All right, let's jump back into the video. Let's begin with number 10 on our list. It's Kindred. For a 3 cost, she has 3 synergies and a Grievous Wounds built into her ability, which is pretty insane. Infernos, Shadows, and Rangers are all synergies that are great in the meta right now, and 6 Infernos can be an S tier comp if you can hit your Amumu early. Shadows and Rangers are also a solid tier comp that can land you in the top 4 as well. This makes Kindred a crucial centerpiece. A popular build is to put a Death Cap and a Seraphs on her so she one-shots characters throughout the mid-game. Moving on to number 9, we have the bearded Berserker, Olaf. Berserkers do get countered quite a bit because many players are running Wardens and they're very popular in the meta right now. But Olaf is still the main unit to carry you to at least 4th place. His main weakness is taking too long to proc his ult initially, but once he does, his glacial stuns and damage will help get you to the top. Rapid Fire Cannon and Hush are crucial items for him. A strong way to push Berserkers to the top is by hitting that power spike at level 7 to find the Olaf and hitting 6 Berserkers. Once you do, you can either go electric or poison to complete the build. Speaking of carries, here comes number 8. It's Nocturne. Even with the nerfs, the Blender comp has still proven itself pretty OP. The Phantom Dancer nerfs were too strong, leaving a lack of counters to assassins in IE, allowing Nocturne to still excel. He has sustainability with his Steel synergy as well as Lifesteal. With Ocean Mage being popular again, Nocturne does a great job and kills off the squishy mages quickly. Nocturne is not the only assassin to shine though, because number 7 is Khazix. Out of all Challenger players, Khazix is actually the number 5 most played champion. With Warden being so popular in the meta, Desert also becomes top tier. His invulnerability and mobility make him harder to kill as he jumps along the enemy lines, critting them. Alongside Nocturne, he's crucial in a Blender composition, but other than that, he can also be used with Summoners or Berserkers. Enough about Assassins for a moment, because number 6 on our list is Yorick. Yorick is a great frontliner that tanks really well for the team. Although he himself may die quickly, the minions he spawns become key in tanking for your remaining carries. Not only are they proper tanks, but the damage on these little units really adds up. In any summoner composition you run, Yorick is going to be a top priority that you'll want to hit as soon as possible. He's also the main unit you need when running any type of light comps as well, since his minions contribute to the synergy. Next up on our list, it's number 5 with Malphite. One of our favorite tanks and a rock that can send many flying. Malphite has one of the best CCs in the game, making him a great frontliner that can buy your team a lot of time. If you're able to find a Malphite early, he works great with Keanu on a mountain map or a Talia if you've been holding on to mages from the early game. Although during the late game you'll eventually replace mountain, the shield is incredibly strong from the early to mid game. It only takes 2 units to proc and you essentially double a unit's health. Malphite being such an easy unit to put in and him being by far one of the best frontliners in the game lands him in our top 5. Moving on is actually another assassin. Number 4 is Keanu. Although Keanu is not a unit that you generally want to keep in the late game, she'll be a great carry for you for the majority of the game. She has a 3-second stun even at level 1 and is able to hit multiple targets. She's definitely key to changing the tides of battle as she ults the enemy's backline, rendering them unable to attack. Those 3 seconds buy you plenty of time for your remaining units to push through the front line. Additionally, as a fairly low-cost unit, she can assist you in hitting some synergies much earlier than you normally would, depending on the map, such as 4 oceans, 2 clouds, 2 mountains, or 3 infernos. Now to number 3. It's Nami. Since the first patch, Nami has consistently been a top 3 champ. She is the biggest AoE CC in the game, and her ults also buff your champions. Could you possibly ask for more? She's by far the best support in the game, with her synergies being able to provide more magic resist or more mana to ult quicker too. Most of our Challenger players will throw her into their comp even if they're not running Ocean Mage, because that's just how good she is. Next is a unit that has been underrated this meta, but people are finally starting to realize her worth. Number 2 is Lux. Even if it may seem minor at first, the buff in patch 9.24 really helped her get at least one ultimate off. More recently, the Korean meta has been to push for level 8, find a Lux, and play a composition around her. Now, we are excluding Luxes like a Light or Woodland Lux, but a Shadow, Infernal, Crystal, and Electric Lux are all great. Also, with how the meta of Set 2 actually allows for a variety of good comps, finding a Lux is a great way to make a decision on what your finalized comp will look like. And now it's time for our strongest unit of them all. Can you guess it? Number 1 is Amumu. The recent buff for him has actually been insane. Even as a level 1 unit, he is worth it because a 3 hex stun radius is almost guaranteed to stun the majority of the enemy's team. With Wardens being so popular too, many people level to 8 as quickly as possible and immediately try to look for him. He works great in any 4 Warden composition or can be used to proc Inferno to burn half of the map. Give him a few tank items and put him in the center front line of the map. He's not only the number 1 unit on our list, but he's the number 1 most played champion in Challenger games. So grab him today and start climbing. Did we forget one of your favorite champions? Do not worry, we've got you here with our honorable mention session. First up, we've got Taric, Singed, and Zed. How could we not name these OP legendaries as well? The meta has definitely been a get to 8 fast and find your Lux in other legendaries. If you're able to hit a level 2 legendary, you're going to want to put them in immediately. Taric is best paired with Ashe to proc Crystal and make him an incredibly strong tank. Meanwhile, Singed with Morel and Omicron is still an absolute beast. A transition to Poison is pretty easy to fit in the late game as well, since it only requires 3 units. We highly recommend, if you're suffering at the hands of Ocean Mage, to start considering this transition if you hit a Singed. And lastly, Zed with 3 Electric or 3 Summoners still dishes out a lot of damage, while GA and Redemption on him will make him incredibly hard to kill. Next up is Soraka. Mystics are still great in this meta, but it depends on how many mages you have in the lobby. However, the part about Soraka that shines the most is her ability to silence. It can definitely come in clutch to stop that Brand or Nami from ever even ulting. Many compositions will pair Soraka with Nami rather than Jaina just because of how strong her ability is. And lastly, we want to bring up Nasus. With the nerf on Renekton, then Zyra, Nasus is arguably one of the best 1-cost units there is. We've seen some challengers hold on to him even as late as stage 5 too. He's a great unit to stack items on early, such as a Morello's or Guardian Angel that can carry you throughout an early and mid game. He's also a Warden, which is one of the best synergies in the meta right now. So as a 1-cost, he does decent damage, can self-sustain with his ability, and also tanks for the team. And that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Which champion has been your favorite carry? Let us know in the comments below. Moving forward, we'll always be having Meta Mondays to show you some of the best champions, comps, and more. However, stay tuned this week for Tier List Thursdays. We'll be releasing at least one a week by our Diamond to Challenger analysts to help you figure out what the most consistent comps are for getting you the top 4 versus the ones that may not be worth it. So be sure to like and subscribe this video, and we'll see you on Thursday.